For years, Israel and Iran waged a hidden war. Cyber attacks, assassinations, and proxy battles simmered beneath the surface, shaping the region's tense reality. But in June 2025, the conflict exploded into open warfare, stunning the world and sending shockwaves through global capitals. Overnight, covert operations gave way to direct military strikes, shattering the fragile balance that had kept the region from all-out war for so long. Fighter jets roared, missiles struck, and the Middle East was plunged into chaos and uncertainty. The world watched in alarm as the rules of engagement vanished, and the threat of a wider war loomed over everyone. Global leaders scrambled to respond, but the pace of escalation left little room for diplomacy or careful negotiation. The shadow war was over. A new, perilous era had begun, marked by open confrontation. The future of the region, and perhaps the world, now hung in the balance, uncertain and fraught with danger. Israel launched a massive, highly coordinated assault, shocking the world with its scale and precision. Striking over 100 targets across Iran in a single night, the operation unfolded with breathtaking speed. The focus, Iran's nuclear facilities at Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan, all came under heavy bombardment, as well as missile sites and command centers, leaving devastation in their wake. The attacks killed top Iranian military leaders and nuclear scientists, crippling Iran's military structure and command. Israeli warplanes then pounded Tehran, targeting air defenses, missile batteries, and fuel depots, sending the capital into panic and chaos. This was no limited strike, it was a campaign to dismantle Iran's military and nuclear capabilities entirely. Israel's message was clear: no part of Iran's arsenal was safe from their reach, and the stakes had never been higher for both nations. The region was now on the brink of a conflict with no precedent in modern history. Iran struck back with waves of missiles and drones, hitting Israeli cities and critical infrastructure, leaving destruction in their wake. In Tamra, a missile destroyed a residential building. In Haifa, a power plant burned, plunging entire neighborhoods into darkness and chaos. Israeli casualties mounted, 14 dead, hundreds wounded, while Iran suffered even greater losses, with over 200 killed, many of them civilians. Daily life collapsed, schools closed, businesses shuttered, and families huddled in shelters, uncertain when it would be safe to emerge. In Tehran, fuel shortages and fear gripped the city, as residents faced growing uncertainty. The war's true cost was measured in shattered lives, traumatized communities, and the pain of loss that lingered long after each attack. Civilians on both sides bore the brunt as the conflict spiraled beyond military targets and into the heart of daily life. Each new attack deepened the humanitarian crisis, stretching aid efforts to their limits. The world watched, powerless, as the suffering and devastation continued to grow. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu defended the strikes as self-defense, claiming Iran was on the verge of building nuclear weapons. The International Atomic Energy Agency had just censured Iran for non-compliance, confirming a stockpile of weapons-grade uranium. For Israel, this was proof that time for diplomacy had run out. Iran's leaders denied the accusations, calling the attack unprovoked aggression and vowing severe retaliation. Ceasefire talks collapsed, and Iran rallied its people for resistance. The U.S. response was conflicted, publicly distancing itself, yet privately aware of Israel's plans. World powers were divided, scrambling to contain a crisis that threatened to spiral out of control. The war of narratives now fueled the flames of conflict. The conflict pushed the region to the brink, with Iran warning the US, UK, and France that their bases could be targeted if they intervened. The US intercepted Iranian missiles, Britain deployed jets, and embassies evacuated staff. Diplomatic channels collapsed. Ceasefire talks were abandoned. The risk of a wider war grew with every passing hour. Overt military strikes replaced years of covert sabotage, raising the stakes for the entire world. One miscalculation could ignite a regional catastrophe. The future of the Middle East and global stability now depended on decisions made in Jerusalem and Tehran. The world stood at a crossroads, hoping for restraint, fearing the worst.